Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's SRT webinar series, Study in Canada. My name is Vasil from SRT team. I would like to welcome you, and I hope you have all had wonderful summer holidays. We're very happy to be back with another series of webinars. Today, we have four distinguished presenters from universities in Canada. We have with us Mr. Eric Gendron, Student Recruitment and Admissions Officer at Bishop's University in Sherbrooke, Quebec. Kelvin Brooks, International Admissions and Recruitment Officer at Carleton University in Ottawa. Andrea Fajardo, Marketing Services Representative at Thompson Rivers University in British Columbia. And Amy Van Rensburg, Assistant Manager, International Recruitment at University of Guelph, Ontario. Before we start, I would like to remind you all that you can ask questions in the chat box at the right. My colleague Mitchell will also be answering some of your questions there. We will be compiling all of them and asking the presenters in the question and answer session at the end. So now, without further ado, I would like to pass the floor to Eric, and we will see first an introductory presentation about studying in Canada.
Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to be with you all today. So to start off our agenda, I'm going to be speaking about life in Canada. So as you can see, this is a map of the country of Canada. We have 37.2 million people living across 10 provinces and 3 territories. Our capital city is the capital of Ottawa. Canada is the world's second largest country by area, actually, after Russia, which I always think is a pretty cool fact to share. And then Canada covers approximately 10 million square kilometers of surface area and is home to more than 40 national parks. So we're actually very proud of our agriculture and our environment here. In Canada, you'll find mountains, volcanoes, prairies, Arctic tundras, oceans, rivers, lakes, glaciers, rainforests, islands, vineyards, valleys, ravines, cliffs, and pastoral lands. So truly a vast variety when it comes to the environment. A fun fact is that we actually have a federal election on September 20th, so in 5 days. So you might be hearing about that in the news, I'm not sure, but that's something that's big that's happening right now. And we are also recognized as one of the most multicultural countries in the world, inhabited by like-minded people who are open-hearted and open to conversation and to diversity. And we also, as I highlighted, have extremely diverse landscapes and climate. So it doesn't snow here all the time. I know that's a common misconception, but I promise you it is not snow 24/7. So why studying in Canada? So Canada is a world leader in post-secondary research. We actually outpace most G7 countries on overall investment in research and development. Canada spends more per tertiary student than almost all other OECD countries. And it's 9 of our Canadian universities rank among the top 200 in the world. So I think that's extremely impressive to highlight. Canada is also safe, stable, tolerant, and inclusive. We really try our best to make everyone feel welcome here, and it makes it a great place to study. We also have an opportunity for a post-grad 3-year work permit, which is something that's very attractive to international students because we welcome them to stay after university or after studying here. We want them to see what Canada is all about. And then 5 Canadian universities rank in the top 100 for employability. So I know that's something that's very important to students. And when I was a student, I was very concerned about potential jobs. So, and then of course our exchange rate, depending on where you're coming from, our exchange rate can be very attractive in terms of affordability. And Canada was the first country in the world to adopt a multiculturalism as a policy. So as I mentioned, we are very accepting people, we love diversity, and we truly thrive on it. And we love everyone of all backgrounds and really try to encourage that diversity. And so Canada really truly ranks as #1 in terms of best quality of life, just in terms of overall ability to study, but also living here as well is truly wonderful in terms of we have so many opportunities and welcoming people. So I'm now going to pass it off to Kelvin from Carleton, and he's going to speak a little more to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eric, for that great introduction to Canada. And hello, everyone. My name is Calvin Brooks. I'm from Carleton University. And today I'm just going to kind of briefly highlight some other aspects of Canadian education that really set us apart from some of the other countries you might be looking at, specifically experiential learning. And when I highlight experiential learning, there's a few different things that we like to talk about. So the first one is a term that a lot of students are probably more familiar with. It's the term internship. And this is just practical work experience, generally unpaid and kind of worked into the program of study. And it's just a great opportunity to kind of take your skills and everything you've learned from the classroom and really apply it in the workplace. And some programs and some universities also offer this in the form of practicums, which are generally a little bit shorter and more applied to a specific industry. But one thing that really sets Canada apart, and one area we really like to focus on in these presentations, is cooperative education, or co-op. It's fairly unique to Canada. Most Canadian universities do offer it for some of their programs. There are some exceptions to that rule, but you will find it amongst most Canadian institutions. And it's basically, it enables you to take a certain number of terms from your study off. So you take a certain amount of terms off from your studies, and you get to work full-time in a job related to your field. So generally, the university will assist you in finding employment that's relevant to your area of study. And this employment really allows you to make connections within your industry, gain valuable work experience within that industry as well. And most co-op positions are paid too, and they're paid quite favorably as well. That's always something to consider. So with co-op, you are not paying tuition during your co-op terms. Most universities may charge you a small co-op admin fee, but it's nowhere near the tuition that you pay during your study terms. So that's important to understand as well. Because you're taking time off from your studies to work full time, it does add a little bit of time onto your degree. But I think myself and all of my colleagues here would agree that for the work experience, the connections in the industry, and of course the money you're making, it's definitely worth it. It's something that we encourage a lot of our international students to do because, like I said earlier, it really gives you a chance to take the skills you've learned throughout your degree studies thus far and apply them to the real world. It also gives you anywhere from 8 to 16 months of work experience, which can set you apart from your colleagues upon graduation. It's something that we always encourage, and it's something that employers really like too. Oftentimes, if you're a co-op student who does really well, an employer may have a position waiting for you upon graduation, or may be able to point you in the right direction, which is very valuable because, like Eric briefly mentioned, Canada has this unique system known as the postgraduate work permit, where you're actually eligible to stay in Canada for up to 3 years after graduation and work full time. And for some students that might be interested in pursuing a pathway to permanent residency, oftentimes having a professional employment within your area of study after graduation can really help with that and can allow you to possibly begin the steps towards permanent residency. The postgrad work permit is not mandatory. You certainly don't have to do it if you would like to return to your home country, but it is something unique to Canada and something that we like to offer our students, no matter what institution you study at. So that's just kind of a brief overview of experiential learning and work opportunities, both during your studies and following your studies as well. And now I'm going to pass it off to Amy from the University of Guelph to talk a little bit more about financial considerations.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I think this is, seems like we have students from all over the world. So I hope this information is super helpful to learn a bit about Canada. I'm going to talk a bit about the financial considerations that you may need to take into account when coming over to Canada. So first is tuition fees. Obviously the big thing that we all have to pay when we come to the university. So many tuition fees here in Canada are actually done by program, not necessarily by the institution. So it's not like you're coming to the institution and everyone pays the same flat tuition fee. A lot of institutions will pay by program. So please check what program you've applied to. They have their own specific fees sometimes. Also, these fees at certain institutions can increase year on year. So it's good to almost look back. They do have to show you all the fees from the years before just to see what the increase will be each year. So you can budget all 4 years that you're there. Please remember that these fees are in Canadian dollars. So I think that sometimes when you're maybe comparing to a US institution or somewhere around the world, make sure you kind of do your apples to apples comparison of putting them all in the same currency, which I think helps sometimes, hinders other times. It depends where you're from, but please remember, if you are also a Canadian, so if you hold a Canadian citizenship or a PR status in Canada, you'll be paying domestic fees. So there are different fees for international students and domestic students. So if you fall into the international, make sure you're on that page when you look at the fees, because sometimes it can get a bit confusing. And unfortunately, there are some other fees that come outside of tuition. So something like your athletics, your insurance, your books, just make sure that all comes into account when you're looking at the full picture of what you are paying. But not to worry, there are scholarships. I love how that bullet point's right next there. Again, scholarships will differ by institution as well. So some need applications, some are granted automatically. So just make sure you check with each institution and the deadlines that come with it as well. So some are associated with when the deadline for the applications close. Others have their own separate deadline as well with a full application that you need to complete. Scholarships for international students can differ for those for Canadian students again, so make sure you're looking at the international options. Bursaries and awards, again, I feel like I'm giving you a lot of like, every institution's different, but it is, but make sure you check all the different bursaries and awards. Some of them are entrance ones that you get before you arrive, others are in-course bursaries that you get once you are here. So just reach out to either the recruiter that's on this call or a recruiter from the institution, or make sure you reach out to the finance office as well. That's at the university. So other things to keep in mind when you're looking at your financials: housing. So again, every institution has different campus, on-campus, off-campus housing options. Sometimes they include meal plans. Sometimes you pay separately for meal plans. So just make sure you budget that in as to what your different options are. I always think reaching out to other students that are at the campus kind of give you tricks and tips of how to, what kind of meal plans you want or what kind of housing's the best option. So just kind of, I think, do a little research on your own there. International students do need to pay into a health coverage here in Ontario. So this will come as one of your mandatory fees as well. On average, it's around less than $1,000 per year, but that can differ with different institutions. But this will cover you for going to the doctor, the dentist, any hospital visits or anything like that. Make sure you check your insurance as well, that that's all covered. And check what resources are available on the campus at the university in regards to healthcare support, because there's a lot on the campus as well. And as Calvin Lovely said, always think about work, study, and co-op as a way to help with these financial considerations, that there's lots of options on campus through part-time jobs. I think we hire, I think it's like 8 students per semester just to work in our office to help us with our office work, and they work part-time for us. So there's tons and tons of options on campus once you're here to help earn some money. And a lot of institutions like to support international students for that as well. All right, that's a very brief high-level overview of all the things to consider financially, but I'm going to pass it over to the lovely Andrea to talk about admissions.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So, hola todo el mundo. Mucha gente que habla español. So, lots of people who speak Spanish. So, welcome, everyone. So, this is the admissions side. What happened in Canada is that you can find lots of programs. It's among the ESL courses, so English language courses as well, certificates, diplomas, bachelor degrees, postgraduates or post-baccalaureate, and masters as well. So you can find lots of programs, different programs at different stage. So this is not just for international students who are finishing in high school. This is also for professionals who wants to join Canada in the a stage of postgraduate or the master degree. So make sure that you can find your program in your institution, so that match with the background that you have. And just confirm the admissions requirements. So normally they ask for the last thing, the last diploma, the last certificate that you did on your own country. So let's see, if you are a higher education student, so they will ask you for your secondary school diploma, and they will ask you as well for your transcripts. They must be in English and your own language. So let's say if you're from Mexico and Spanish, and then you need to translate them to English. If the institutions cannot give you the English version or the documents, you need to find translator. So you can find many translators around the world. This is easy. Then you need your English test score. Normally, in the institutions, we allow you to present IELTS, TOEFL, PT, KL, and Duolingo. Duolingo is a new one that we just opened because of the pandemic. So some institutions still have it, they still are receiving that, some are not. So just make sure you see the requirements before. And some programs like masters, for example, will ask you for additional documents like essay, interviews, portfolio, or some other requirements. So just make sure you always check the requirements and see that you have everything ready to apply. Once you apply to the university, normally you will receive a conditional letter of acceptation, which means that you have a seat in the institution, but you are not totally accepted because sometimes you need to pay before. So just make sure that you are applying I always recommend students to apply with at least 6 months before the program starts because of the visa. You need to apply for the study permit. You need to make sure that you will have the money ready to pay. So once you receive your conditional letter of acceptation, then you will have a deadline to make your payment. So once you make your payment, you will receive a final letter of acceptation. And this is the only letter that will allow you to apply for your study permit. So if you are not sure of how to do this process, just ask to your institutions. We can recommend you how to make sure that your process will be successful with immigration. And yeah, this is just an invitation to apply for Canada because this is a great country to live with many options for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this introduction from all of you. And now we will move on with the individual presentations of each of the 4 universities we have today. We will start also with a short video so you can see a bit of the atmosphere, the campuses, and then we will pass on to the speakers.
I really love watching that video. It just really provides me with such joy when I watch it. You really see an overview of our campus and the historic feeling that it gives. So I'm really glad we got to see that. So my name is Eric, just once again, for a reminder, I'm a recruiter and admissions officer from Bishop's University. And so I love this quote, "Be connected, be purple, be you," because I truly believe that Bishop's offers its students the opportunity to discover who they are, what they're passionate about, and more importantly, what they want to do when they leave Bishop's. So we were founded in 1843. Our institution is actually older than the country of Canada itself, which I think is very impressive. I love highlighting that to students. It really shows our history once again. We are an English language university, so all of our delivery methods are in English. Our professors lecture in English and all of that. So I know when I was coming from the US, I'm actually an international student myself who came to Canada, and I was nervous about that. But I promise you do not need to know French. However, we do offer reduced price courses in French if you would like to take those. We have a 25% international population, so we are pretty diverse for being a smaller campus. We only have 2,961 total students. So we are a smaller university, which really provides that community feeling, that close, intimate relationship with your peers and with your professors. And of that 25% population, that represents roughly 80 different countries. So again, we are pretty diverse, and no one country makes up more than 7% of the population. And then 97% of our students live within walking distance of campus, which I also think is very exciting. Again, reinforces that community feeling, that closeness that we have here at Bishop's. So here's a few numbers, a few statistics I love highlighting. Foremost, I love highlighting our 24-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So again, just reinforcing that idea that we really want you to get to know your professors. We want your professors to know you. And I promise you by the end of your 4 years, you'll know them all by name. They'll know you by name. They really take an interest in more than just your education. They take an interest in your personal life. And that's really, truly what I love about Bishop's. Again, it's just that community feeling that we have here, that closeness. And then I also like to highlight our 40 students is the average class size of first and second year courses. So you're not going to be surrounded by a sea of other students. You're really getting that personal, intimate experience and FaceTime with the professor. And then also, we have done $200+ million in campus renovations in the past 10 years, which I think is wonderful. It's really elevated our campus. It's taken it to the next level where now we have an observatory, we have a greenhouse, we have state-of-the-art labs. So on the exterior, you may see that we have that historic feeling, but I promise you the inside offers so much. So we are located in Sherbrooke, Quebec, Canada. So we're about an hour and a half / 2 hours from Montreal and Quebec City. So a lot of the weekends to visit those cities and get outside of our immediate surrounding area. We are also the closest university in Canada to Boston as well as New York, which I love highlighting that as well, especially considering I am from Boston myself. So it's great we have such a central location. We're in the hub of so many different cities, and students love to get that chance to get out and see the other surrounding area. And so living in the Eastern Townships. So we kind of offer the best of both worlds here at Bishop's. We have rural areas, we have areas to ski and snowboard and hiking trails, but then we also are 10 minutes from a major city. So you'll get all your shopping malls, your clothing stores, your trendy coffee shops, all of that good stuff. So we kind of offer the best of both worlds in terms of living, no matter who you are. And then these are our 5 disciplines. We offer the social sciences, School of Education, natural sciences and mathematics, humanities, and the Williams School of Business. And of course, there's multiple programs within each of those, which I encourage you to check out on our website. And we are a liberal arts institution. We follow a liberal arts model. So we encourage you to step outside of your immediate discipline and find out what courses you're passionate about. So if you're a psychology student, we encourage you to take courses in history or education or whatever it may be and find what you're truly passionate about. And this is our library learning commons, a great place to study and to meet up with friends. This was actually an $18 million renovation. And then this is our Sportsplex, which was a $32 million renovation. It's got all new facilities, an arena, a pool, gyms. We've also got our own nurses and doctors on campus, so you actually don't even have to leave campus to access medical care, which I always think is something that's fantastic about our university. And then we have plenty of sports teams, plenty of athletics and extracurriculars to get involved in. I tell you, there's no feeling like a homecoming game at Bishop's. The spirit that's in the crowd, it's just unlike any other. It's almost magical. So I really love our sports program here. And then residence. So I lived in residence my first year. I'm telling you, you meet some of your lifelong friends in residence. On our campus, everything is a 5 to 10 minute walk from your residence building. It's never more than that. And that's what I love. You can actually save 17 hours a day at Bishop's living in residence because you're just so close to everything. Everything is nearby and you don't have to worry about a long commute, you are right there in the action. And this is one of our new residence buildings that will be opening shortly. And then on the right is our dining hall, which is a buffet style dining hall. So if you're an eater like me, you can eat as much as you'd like, and there's no limit to it. You can go as many times you'd like as a day in the day. And these are our different residence styles. So we offer bog style, where you just share a toilet and a shower. We offer a suite style, which is more like an apartment, and then the traditional style. And so now to get into some admission requirements. So we're looking for an overall average of 80% or a 3.5 out of 4 GPA or its equivalent. So that's kind of the minimum requirements. Of course, it kind of varies depending on the program. So if you're looking to be in a business program, we're going to be looking for a few more of those math courses, that sort of deal, in order to admit you. But we do not require any SAT scores. We do not require a personal essay. We do not require letters of recommendation. However, we encourage you to submit those as well, just to reinforce your application and so that we can get to know a little bit more about you. And just a few more admission requirements if you're an IB program, which you can all find on our website. And then tuition, as Amy mentioned, this is a hot topic. Obviously, unfortunately, you do have to pay, but we have an estimated total for tuition and fees of $27,151. And then a total with books, meals, supplies, everything is $40,766. But remember, that is in Canadian dollars, as Amy mentioned. So you don't have to worry in terms of that number may fluctuate depending on where you're coming from. So it may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing, but we do have a very affordable cost of living here in Canada. And those are our steps to apply, which you can see on our website. And our application deadline is April 1st, but I encourage you to apply by March 1st to be considered for competitive scholarships. And I just want to thank you so much for listening to me today. I appreciate your time, and thank you. I'll pass it off.
We believe a place can change your life. An established university with proud scholars, chairs, and award holders, where students are prepared for real-world jobs, to critically think and change the world. With unique programs you won't find anywhere else. A place that values collaboration as much as competition, with national varsity sports teams, and home to Canada's 11-time CIS champion men's basketball team. With over 1,000 research projects underway, more than $55 million in sponsored funding, and over $42 million in scholarships and bursaries awarded to undergraduates and graduates alike. A place like no other. Carleton University, Canada's capital university. Carleton University, Canada's capital university.
Awesome. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to this SRT Study in Canada presentation. Thank you so much, Eric. I always love the overview of Bishops. It's such a beautiful campus. But today I'm here to tell you a little bit more about Carleton University. And over the next 7-8 minutes, I'm just going to give you some brief highlights, and then I'll share my contact details at the end if you do have any questions you wish to follow up on. So let's start with where Carleton is located. So we are located in the province of Ontario, in the city of Ottawa. It is Canada's capital city. We're about a 4-hour drive or 45-minute flight from the city of Toronto, about an 1.5-hour drive or 15-minute flight from the city of Montreal. And because we are the capital city and Canada does have 2 official languages, we are a bilingual city of both English and French, but Carleton is a fully English institution. Now, studying in Canada's capital city certainly has some advantages to it. Some things I like to highlight are just the resources that exist within the city that you might not find in other Canadian cities. Ottawa is home to our federal government and all of the relevant departments, including Defense, Justice, our Supreme Court, Environment Canada, you name it, it's located here in the city. We're also home to approximately 134 international embassies. So for any students interested in international affairs or global policy, this is definitely the city you want to be in. It's a G7 capital and certainly a big decision-making center for our country and the rest of the world as well. Some other highlights about Ottawa is that it's a young and vibrant city as well. We have a relatively young population. Our population is around 1 million people right now, about 1.1 million. It's the 6th largest city in Canada. And we're home to a lot of things to do outside of your academics as well. Restaurants, clubs, cafes, festivals, you name it. I've been here for about 8 years now, and I'm still crossing things off of my list. The other thing too is that Ottawa is home to a lot of great opportunity. We have a thriving high-tech sector. We're home to Shopify, one of Canada and one of the world's largest tech companies. We're also home to our nation's federal government, and there's tons of opportunity for research and so much more. Now, within the city of Ottawa, Carleton University is located about 5 minutes from the downtown core. We're a self-contained campus bordered by the Rideau River, as well as the Rideau Canal and Bronson Avenue. And you can see a shot of this on your screen. Our campus is almost like a triangle surrounded by those 3 barriers, and everything you see within that triangle is part of Carleton's campus. And what I really like about this is that it adds an element of community. Coming from a smaller town in Canada, myself, I really wanted to be in a bigger city, but I still valued that small town community feel. And with Carleton's layout, our campus layout, you really do find that here at the university. This shot here shows you our location in relation to the downtown core. Like I said, it's about a 5-minute drive to the downtown core. It's about 10 to 15 minutes by transit. We have a light rail transit that comes through our campus, which can take you downtown in minutes, and a transit pass is included in your tuition. But like I said, our campus is quite beautiful. I'm a little biased, but I really valued the community aspects that I felt during my time here as a student and still feel as an employee. And speaking of Carleton's community, we do have a very diverse community and a rather large one too. We're home to about 31,000 total students, full-time undergraduate students, which is what a lot of you will become. We're home to about 21 or 22,000. We have students representing over 150 countries, and international students make up about 15% of our student body population. In terms of degree programs, Carleton University currently offers 22 undergraduate degree programs. We're one of Canada's top comprehensive universities, which is a fancy way of saying that we offer a lot of options for our students to study from. You can see all 22 of these degree programs listed on the screen in front of you. Some that really stick out amongst our students include our Bachelor of Architectural Studies, our engineering program, especially the areas of study within aerospace and mechanical engineering. Our Bachelor of Computer Science is also a very popular and competitive program too. But given our location in the nation's capital, we also excel in areas such as global and international studies, public affairs and policy management. We have one of Canada's oldest journalism programs. So there's a lot of unique opportunities spread out across the STEM areas, but also across the liberal arts and public affairs areas too. These 22 degree programs are divided up amongst 5 different faculties that are listed on the screen in front of you. And earlier in this presentation, I spent a little bit of time talking about co-op or cooperative education. And I do just want to highlight that at Carleton University, about 85% of our degree programs offer co-op. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a great opportunity to gain some valuable work experience, make connections in your industry, and all co-op opportunities are paid as well. Oftentimes, our graduates that have completed the co-op program, they have very little difficulty finding employment. And as I mentioned earlier, oftentimes their co-op employers might have a position waiting for them or be able to point them in that direction. Again, for the money you earn, the valuable experience, and of course the connections you make, we do recommend co-op for all of our students, but it's not mandatory. You don't have to take advantage of it if you wouldn't like to. In terms of admissions, I've seen in the chat that we have students from all over the world. So there's going to be a lot of different curriculums involved here. So what we do is on our website, we have this admissions tool where you can go in and you can select the curriculum you're studying, the country you're studying, whatever your educational background may be. You can pick your program of interest and we will tell you exactly what we need. Some things you want to watch out for: we do require your high school transcripts, as we are basing your admissions off of your academic performance. Our degree programs also have specific prerequisites as well. So these are courses that are required from your high school studies in order to be admitted to your desired degree program. So please make sure you are taking those prerequisite subjects for the degree that you might be interested in. We do admissions on a rolling basis here as well. So the sooner you apply and submit the appropriate documents, the sooner we'll hopefully be able to get you a response. And we also give conditional offers too. A few other things I like to point out is that if you're a student who has the option to take AP exams or IB or A-level exams, you are able to be considered for what's called advanced standing or transfer credit, which means you can earn some university degree credits, based off of what your scores were on those final exams. Just like Eric mentioned with bishops, we also don't require SATs, ACTs, personal statements, reference letters. We're solely looking at your academic performance from high school, and we do that by asking for your transcripts, usually from grades 9 to 11, and whatever you may have from your final year. In terms of how to apply, I won't spend too much time on this, but you can apply directly to Carleton through our direct application or through OUAC, the Ontario University Application Centre. This application's for universities located within the province of Ontario, and it's essentially a common application that allows you to apply to multiple universities from one spot. So myself and Amy's university, the University of Guelph, are featured on that application. We'll then ask you to upload your documents, and from there you just monitor and await a decision, and we will reach out if we require anything further. Our tuition and other fees can be found on the screen in front of you. As Amy mentioned, tuition does generally vary depending on the degree program, so please note that the lower end of this range is generally for areas within the liberal arts, and the upper end of this range is usually for areas within engineering or some of the STEM programs as well. A full breakdown can be found on our website. We do also offer our students guaranteed on-campus accommodations if they have an offer of admission before the middle of May. And you can see the residence fees down there at the bottom. That includes both your room on campus and an all-access or unlimited meal plan. We are a fairly generous university when it comes to scholarships, specifically our entrance scholarships. The grading scale on the left-hand side may not reflect your grading scale. And if you have specific questions, again, you can reach out to me directly. But just note that the higher the grades, the more money you can earn with these entrance scholarships. They range anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 Canadian dollars per year, and we will give them to you automatically with your offer of admission. So you'll know how much money you're going to earn with the entrance scholarship before you have to make a decision whether or not you wish to attend. These scholarships are renewable for up to 4 years, so you could end up earning anywhere from 4,000 to 16,000 Canadian dollars off tuition just for your grades and your academic performance. I do just want to be very conscious of the time right now. So if you do have any further questions, my contact details are on the screen in front of you. There's a QR code which you can scan with your phone if you wish to put down your information so we can reach out to you directly. But you can see our website, our application, as well as my email and our generic email as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know this is a lot of information over a very short period of time. So please, if you have any further questions, let me know, and I will now pass it off for the next video introduction. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is the presentation for Thompson Rivers University. We are a public university. We have been in the market as a public institution, as a public institution for 50 years. We used to be a College of Caribou for 20 years, and then 30 years as an educational provider. We are one of the three biggest public university in British Columbia. We have 14,000 students on campus, 11,000 are Canadian students, and we have 3,500 international students for over 100 different countries. So you will find a good mix of nationalities. And also you can learn about the cultures, about food, about everything about other countries. You can enjoy your time at Thompson Rivers University. We have around 350 students from South America, so Spanish speakers. And it's just a small community. And we have an average 40 students per class. So normally the universities has 100 or 150 students per class, but we have just only 40 students per class, which will allow you to have the contact with your trainer, with your professor, and also to learn more, as it's a more personalized education. Also, where are we located? We are located in the province of British Columbia. We are just 3.4, I think 3.5 hours driving from Vancouver, and 45 minutes on flight. And also we have direct flights from Toronto and Calgary as well. So what is the advantage to live in British Columbia is the weather. So the weather is really nice. I think it's the nicer weather in Canada. So in Kamloops is one of the sunniest cities in British Columbia as well. So we are one of the cities who organize more festivals and events along the year, and it will help you to find a job easily. Normally, our international students takes like 2 or 3 weeks to find a job. We have like 200 lakes nearby, and we organize lots of activities outside with our students. So cheap activities and fun for all our students. We have the Sun Peaks Resort, which is the second best in Canadian destinations. So the resort is 45 minutes distance from the campus, and you can visit the resort anytime in the year. You will enjoy it always. This is a vibrant city. This is they always have some activities, like every day you will find activities to do, different environments, and like this is, as I said before, a vibrant city. Our campus, we have 9 faculties, we have 12 restaurants along the campus, we have a stadium, we have gym, we have aquatic center, we have international building, we have all main, we have 2 residents to live inside the campus and 1 to live outside the campus. We are like 10 minutes distance from the downtown. But the good thing is you don't have to pay transport, as your transport will be covered with your fees. So you don't need to worry about the transport, the cost of your transport if you are living in Kamloops. So we practice over 10 sports in TRU, and you can find the places to practice the different sports that we have. We also have amazing laboratories. We have a library, big library. We have horticulture gardens as well. And this is 100% sustainable campus. Campus to enjoy. If you see, this is huge. We have, as I mentioned before, 3 different, actually 4 different accommodations, options for accommodation. So we have our North Tower, which is this one. They have reception 24 hours, cleaning services, and this is the best view and best location in campus. You will have your own room with your desk, your bed, your chair, like this is in North Tower. You will have a huge room to live, and you just need to share the bathroom with one person. So if you are in an apartment with 4 bedrooms, you need to share. You will find 2 bathrooms, so you need to share the bathroom just with one person. And if you are in an apartment with 2 bedrooms, you will have 1 bathroom, so you need just to share the bathroom with one person. So this one, all our residents are covered for 8 months, because you will have our semesters are 4 months, like in Canada is 4 months per semester. So I will give you prices for 8 months. So this one, which is the most expensive in North Tower, is 7,800 Canadian dollars for 8 months. If you see, this is very affordable, and this is a good price comparing to other institutions. So Mac Hill Residence is recently renewed. This is very good option to live in. The price for this one is 5,800 Canadian dollars, and for 8 months as well. And the last one, which is outside of the campus, it's Village, is the cost is just 5-10 minutes walking from the campus, and the cost is 4,800 Canadian dollars. And homestay is another option if you are under 18, or if you want to live the experience to stay with a Canadian family. This is a great option because it's just $870 per month. You can pay monthly, and you will have 3 meals included. So this is a good option as well to stay with a Canadian family. This is some of the photos for our premises. So we have modern buildings. And you will have the aquatic center. You will have 24 hours per studies spaces. So where you can find Wi-Fi, you can study, and you can make your assessments and complete your work, your tasks in the best way. We have, as I mentioned, 12 restaurants along the campus with different kind of foods, and it's really cheap. This is one of the advantages to live in a city as Kamloops, because it's cheap, it's affordable for not just single, just for families as well. Also, what we can offer in Thompson Rivers University, we offer over 140 programs. So what we have ESL program, which is our English as a second language, 5 levels program. We have certificates for 1 year. We have diplomas 2 years. We have bachelor degrees for 4 years. We have post-baccalaureate, which is like a postgraduate, 2 years, and master's 2 years as well. So you will find different options, like between arts, business, IT, education, social work, science, engineering, health science, law, tourism, and trades and technologies. I cannot mention all the programs right now because it's over 140, but you will find something that you like. I make sure that you will find something that you really like. So you can visit our website to see the different programs that we have. What you need, like the documents that you need to study with us is your diploma in English and Spanish. You need your transcripts in English and Spanish, and you need your English test. So for all the programs except masters, we ask for TOEFL 88 overall and 20 each band. And for IELTS, we ask you for 6.5 overall and 6.0 each band. And and we are still accepting Duolingo. 110 you need for Duolingo for all the programs except masters. For masters, we only accept IELTS of 7.0 overall and 6.5 each band, and a TOEFL IBT as well for 92 overall and a minimum of 22 each band. So this is the like I just giving you the basic documents that you need, but probably you need to have some more if you are interested to do a master. Some master ask you for essays, ask you for interviews, so you need to check the requirements before. But normally the documents that I mentioned are the documents that we are required in Thompson Rivers University. If you don't have the English requirement, so please ask me as we can combine ESL with post-bac in business, with some bachelor degrees, with some diplomas. For masters, you need to complete the requirement of English test, but for some other programs, you can combine. What is the advantage in the combination? That you can work. Remember that you cannot work if you are studying only English, but if you are studying an academic program, then you can work 20 hours per week and full time when you are in holidays, and apply for your post-graduation work permit. If you have a partner, she can your partner can work full time always. So this is a good one. This is a good system that we have for you guys if you don't have your English requirements. All our programs, you can work 20 hours per week, you can work full-time in your holidays, and you have the opportunity to apply for your post-graduation work permit as well. So we have the lowest employment rate in Canada is less than 5%. So as I mentioned before, our international students, takes like 2 or 3 weeks to find a job. Despite that the city of Kamloops is not too big, we have lots of opportunities for you guys. And in the past 2 years, we have about 86% of our students applying to the permanent residence because they found a job in the field that they study. The minimum wages that you can, once you finish your program, you will earn is 52,000 Canadian dollars per year. So this is a good opportunity for everyone. We have co-op programs. We have 140 programs to choose. We have the highest, the global leader in sustainability. We have lots of work and study opportunities, and we also support our students, academic and student services as well. And I'm just inviting you to follow us in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Instagram. So just follow us and see more testimonials from our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. And yes, if you have any questions for Andrea as well, please pop them up in the chat. We will be answering them at the end. Now we will move on to Amy and the presentation of Guelph.
Hello, my name is Abdullah, and I'd like to welcome you to the University of Guelph, a place where you will come into your own. A place where you'll discover who you are truly meant to be. A place where everyone who studies here, explores here, plays here, teaches here, and works here is committed to one simple purpose: to improve life. We want to bring campus to you, to share some of our favorite places and our stories of what being a Griffin is truly about.
I'm a Griffin.
She's a Griffin.
He's a Griffin. They're all Griffin.
Don't you want to be a Griffin?
Don't you want to be a Griffin too?
Don't you want to be a Griffin?
You're gonna be a Griffin.
You're gonna be a Griffin too.
You're not just a number here. You're a Griffin.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Don't worry, I didn't know what a griffin was either when I first started working here, but it's that lovely, unique animal you see up there. So I would love for you to be a griffin, and I would love to tell a little bit more about the University of Guelph. We always say it rhymes with self. I don't know if that's an easy way to remember it. So first up, where is Guelph? I know that we've spoken about Ottawa and Ontario and all the different places there. So we're actually really quite close to Toronto as our main place that you would fly into. We can go in and out of Toronto quite easily, lots of buses and trains to get in there. But the actual city of Guelph is its own beautiful city, lots going on there. It's got huge festivals and food, lots going on within the city of Guelph as well. You'll get a student ID pass, which gets you on the buses and the trains. But the nice thing about Guelph is that it's a really young city. There's lots of young people living there. There's lots of, it's kind of like a college town. It is one of the best 50 places to live in Canada. I know you've heard of all the other lovely institutions in all their cities as well. I think across Canada, there's lovely places to live, but I'll always throw Guelph in there as one of the top places to go as well. So our campus is a walking campus. That kind of means everything's together. So your housing, your dining, all your classes, everything's going to be on a campus in one lovely green campus there. So you can walk across the campus in I think about 7 to 8 minutes to get to everything that you need is all kind of in the one place to have that nice community feel. So let me tell you a few fun facts. There is going to be these little pop-up things that I've put into this corner of the slide there. If you open up your camera and zoom in on that little QR code, you'll be able to link to learn a bit more about what it's like to be a Griffin and all of our things there. So as I said, we are one of Canada's top universities. They say we're a medium-sized university, but I think 27,000 people is pretty big, but we are considered a mid-size university here in Canada because would you believe it, there are bigger universities than us. We have students from all over the world, so I can see there's so many people from here today. So make sure you go to our website. There's a drop down of all the different countries that we get students from and all the requirements there. So we have such a diverse campus, which is fantastic. We also have 86 different majors, so I'm not going to be able to go through them all today because you can imagine that would take in a way like way too long. But I'll give you a brief overview of all the different programs and majors that we have. And that experiential learning is the co-op, work study, all the things that we have here on campus as well. I can't fit it into my little time slot, but I will always guide you to the right places to look it all up. So learn more about living on campus. As I said, it's a great walking campus. So if you want that feel where you kind of walk out your dorm room and you're on the campus, that kind of feel, this is the place to be. You get guaranteed residence as a first-year student for international as well. So you will guarantee a lovely spot in one of our beautiful on-campus there. You get to choose 1 bed, 2 beds, quads, singles, doubles. There's female-only halls. There's ones with bathrooms, shared bathrooms. I mean, you have spoiled for choice for sure. It's same with the clubs. So we have a lot of student clubs, a lot of student involvement. We have a student government that you can be a part of that actually comes to meetings with us and makes decisions about different things on campus and what programs we should have. And that is not a typo. We have 7 dining halls on campus. We are actually known as the food campus of Canada. So we're the top food campus in the whole of Canada, ranked by like a whole bunch of foodies that come and test all our campus food. So it is beyond amazing. We have ways where you can put in a request and the chef cooks it for you the next day. So if you're missing like your mom's meatloaf, you can give them the recipe and they'll cook it for you. There's a whole bunch of options on campus, different types of food and style of food. So if you're from a country and you're missing your kind of food, I guarantee we'll probably have something very close or exactly that here on campus. I miss going to campus totally because I could eat my lunch at one of these gorgeous dining halls, coffee houses, we have bakeries. So if you are into food, I'm telling you, this is the place to be. But we don't go to university for food, unfortunately. We go to university to study something. So let me tell you about what you can study here at Guelph. There are 86 different programs. They fall into these different colleges, what we call here on campus. So you will be applying to a college. This is how they're grouped together. So within these little colleges here are the bachelor that you would receive, and then you'd have a specialty within that bachelor, and that's where those 86 different programs are. So under engineering, there's a bunch of different specialties. Under the arts, there's tons of different options you can do. So if you go on that QR code there, it'll pop up all the 86 different programs and see kind of what tickles your fancy and what's going on. We don't allow double majors, so you can't get a bachelor in both of these things at the same time. The only thing is unique up there is that Bachelor of Arts and Science. So that's a unique one where you can choose an arts program and a science program and get a Bachelor of Arts and Science. However, the rest of them, you cannot do a double major, but you can do a minor. So a minor is something you can add on to any of our degrees. So it doesn't matter what you're studying. If you're studying engineering and you want to have a minor in French studies, go ahead. So it's a great way to develop your degree without having to do that double major. This is something you can add on when you get here as well. So sorry, this is kind of like a lot of reading, a lot of little numbers and words to go through really quickly, but make sure you check out our website. It's all laid out beautifully there. So how to apply? I think once you've seen our campus is so lovely, you get housing, of course you love food, now you've seen our courses. I'm really hoping your next step is going, okay, what can I get in? So as I said earlier in my financial presentation, we do it by program here at Guelph. So you aren't applying to the University of Guelph per se, you're applying to that college. So the College of Engineering or College of Arts or College of Science. And each different program will have different requirements for you to get in. There are required courses that you have to complete in your high school level. So if you're applying to engineering, we're going to require a lot more maths. If you're applying to the sciences, we're going to apply sciences. So it depends kind of what you studied in high school, and we can obviously advise you which programs would be best. We are test optional, so there's no SAT, ACT, or any test requirements. And the same as I think some of the other institutions here, we don't have to have a recommendation letter or an essay or anything like that. So we're mainly looking at your transcript and kind of those required courses. There's 3 ways to apply to us. You can apply on our website, super easy, lovely application forms. Applications are opening at the end of the month. We'd like you to apply before January 15th. You can apply through the Ontario University Application Centre, which I know Calvin mentioned as well. So that's a way if you're looking to multiple Ontario universities, great place to go. And if you're applying to some US institutions, you can also apply on the Common App. All right, so our fees are based, again, on all those different programs. So all those bachelors that you saw, they'll each have different fees attached to them. Many are the same, but some are a bit different. I know engineering and business are a bit higher up than the arts and the sciences. So again, look at those international fees. They're between $30,000 and $40,000 a year for your fees. But don't worry, there's scholarships. So we have 2 types of scholarships, international students. One, you don't even need to apply for it. It just appears on your application. So as soon as you apply, we evaluate your transcript. If you hit the certain threshold for that, you can either get $5,500, $6,500, $7,500, or $8,500 for your first year. If you remain in 80%, we do our grades here by percentages. You get a $4,000 each year after that as well. The other one, there is a full application. It's called the President's Scholarship. It's very fancy. And this will be up to $42,000 to get this President's Scholarship. It's over your 4 years. You get a mentorship, a research position. It's a really, really great scholarship, but it does require a separate application. So make sure you kind of see that as well. Work study co-op, I think we've harped on that enough. I think it's a great option. My little QR code there is for a lovely student from Turkey named Toygar and how he made a whole bunch of money on campus with all the different jobs and bursaries and awards that he managed to get as well. So make sure you check that out just to kind of see his story, because it's always a nice insight to hear what other students have done. I can't go into all the student experience. I'd be here again for hours and hours. I obviously love Guelph, so there's tons of accessibility here. You get your own orientation, Start International's an orientation program. There's a whole student experience team to help with immigration. So the moment you apply, you have access to them as well. The library, the wellness center, goes on and on and on. So just know that you are very, very supported here on campus. There's lots of health services. We have a doctor and a dentist here on campus as well. And we're always a leader in student experience. We do surveys with our students when they leave, and everyone seems pretty happy. All right, so if you finish this and you think, oh, I could probably learn a bit more about Guelph, this sounds all right. Copy that, that little URL there, that admission.guelph/international, and that's going to be like a landing page. That'll just shoot you out to all the different things that we spoke about today. Unibuddy, I think it's a little pop-up has appeared in the corner there. It's like right here on my screen. Unibuddy is a great place to go. So I went to university, I don't even want to tell you how many years ago, but you would much rather hear from people that actually went to university now. So if you go to Unibuddy, there's a way for student-to-student chats that can happen. So you can filter the students by what country they're from or what program they're studying. And you can just literally on your phone text them back and forth and ask them questions. You know, what housing's like? Is it a food university? Is she telling the truth? So it's a great way for you to get some insight just from student to student. And if you want to book one-to-ones with any of the admissions team or the recruitment team or any of us, we take one-to-one meetings as well. So if you just go to that events page, which is the little QR code there, you'll see all the live events. We do some Unibuddy events as well. But I'll leave my pretty hideous picture here up here and my email. So if you do have any questions for Guelph, make sure you pop me an email and I'd be happy to help. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Now, I would like to invite all the presenters to come back on stage, and we will start with the question and answer session. I see that a lot of questions were coming in from various participants. And yeah, I will start first. You all talked about scholarships, and of course that is something that interests a lot of students. Lenny and Anna are asking about full scholarship if they're offered by the university. Perhaps if you can go one by one, maybe tell us what are the important things that you would look for in terms of documentation and procedures. Just very briefly, we can start with Kelvin.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So yeah, I did see a couple questions in there about things like full ride or full tuition scholarships, and generally those don't exist within most Canadian institutions. There are some exceptions, so it's still always very important to ask the individual institution. But for the most part, you're kind of looking at partial scholarships just due to our public model here within Canada. So yeah, for Carleton specifically, I highlighted the entrance scholarships. There's also more generous scholarships that do require a bit more of an application, like our Prestige or Chancellor's Awards. Those can be up to 12,000 Canadian dollars a year. We also, a lot of us mentioned too that personal statements or reference letters might not be required for the admissions process, but I do still encourage you to get them, because when it comes to certain scholarship applications, that might also help as well. Amy mentioned this too during the financial considerations, but oftentimes a lot of scholarships become available to students once they're registered in courses, once they're actually a student here at the university. So definitely explore those. Your scholarship applications won't just stop when you become a student here. There's so much more available. So just keep that in mind as well.
Okay. Andrea, do you want to add something on the scholarship side?
So we have also athletics scholarships for some students in soccer, basketball, volleyball, and also we have some excellence scholarships as well available. But as we mentioned before, that you can find more options once you are registered and once you are in the university.
Eric, is it the same with your university, that in most cases they would have to first be accepted in the university and parallel to this apply for financial assistance?
Yes, so Kelvin actually took the words right out of my mouth. I agree with everything that he said, that once you're kind of in a program and once you're studying, it's far easier to obtain scholarships, because some scholarships have specific, there's dedicated money that's for a specific program that was donated by an alumni or something of that nature. We do have merit-based scholarships at Bishop's, and I'm sure many of the other universities on this call. So if you apply by a certain date at Bishop's, you will automatically be considered for a scholarship. I know, and as Kelvin said, I would definitely encourage personal statement letters and that sort of thing. It definitely helps. I know I myself, as an international student who came to Canada, having those letters and those extra little tidbits really helped me. So
great. Yeah, and speaking of tuition, most of you mentioned or displayed your tuition fees or the range of tuition fees, but some students wanted to clarify, is this per year or is this for the whole duration of their studies? Amy?
Oh, I wish I had better news. It's per year. I'm sorry. It is. We do our fees. So you will get charged per semester when you come here. So it does get split in half, that you don't have to pay the full fee for your whole year at once. At least here at Guelph, you'll pay for your first semester, then your second semester. But what we advertise is for 1 year. And so then you'll be charged the same or potential increase the next year as well.
Okay, and regarding fees, there was one question from Valerie to Carleton University. How much does it cost for health sciences per year at Carleton? Would you know the details of this?
Yeah, of course. So like I mentioned, there is a bit of a range. Our health science program right now, I believe, is about 30 to 34,000 Canadian dollars per year. Those do get updated annually, and a full breakdown of tuition for each individual degree program can be found on our website. So if that student wants to pop me a message in the chat here, or just reach out to me via email directly, I'd be happy to give them an exact amount, but I do believe it's in the low 30,000 Canadian dollars per year.
Okay, and keeping on the medicine side, Samantha is asking if it's possible to study medicine or dentistry in Canada as an international student. What are some requirements in that department? So we can go one by one with the bishops first. Do you offer medicine and dentistry?
So we actually don't offer a specific medicine and dentistry major. However, we do have a pre-med track housed within our natural sciences department. So you kind of do a bio with like a pre-med track. So that could be something similar, but we don't offer a specific major within that field.
Okay, thank you for that. And Andrea?
So it's good to clarify for the international students that in Canada you cannot study medicine because it's just allowed for permanent residents and citizens. So in TRU, we can suggest that you can study the Bachelor of Science, and then this is the path to then join the School of Medicine in Canada. So after you finish your Bachelor in Science, then you can yeah. Then you can do like 2 more years to be to complete your program of medicine in Canada.
Okay, we have some testing questions. Amy, you did mention that your test optional, but Sophia is asking, are Cambridge exams useful for applications? Anna is also asking, do you suggest to take or submit SAT grades from their countries? What would you say about that?
If you have done an SAT or an ACT or a Cambridge, yes. If you've done it, we will always recommend that you add it to your application. If you want to range, I think what is different at Guelph, which may not be the case for you guys, each of our programs has a different threshold to get into. So certain programs are a little more difficult than others. So it may be that they need a specific score to kind of meet that threshold. So I would always advise with a counselor beforehand to say, this is my SAT score, would it help? I guarantee you 90% of the time it will help because it kind of gives a better overview of the student. We used to be test required, I guess, for many years. We've only just gone test optional because of the pandemic. So we always encourage test scores and SATs and ACTs to be sent in. But it's not required. So don't think if you haven't done it, you're going to somehow hinder your application. But it's always nice to have on our side as well.
Any of the other universities here, do you require tests, SAT, Cambridge, language requirements? Yeah, go ahead, Kelvin.
I was just going to say, like, generally, if they're an A-level student, then the Cambridge exam or Pearson or any of the others are required, as that's kind of the final test. It's more so the external tests like SAT and ACT that aren't required. And then in terms of English language tests, that's sort of a different category. Those are generally required if the student is studying in a country where English is not the official language. And again, any specific questions for a student that might be in an English institution in a non-English country, reach out, be happy to clarify. But for ACT and SAT, not required.
Okay, and we have one question from Mariana to TRU. I'm a student in the International Baccalaureate program. I would like to know if the IB covers the English requirements. If so, how many points are needed? This would probably, I guess, depend on also which majors they're applying for.
Yes, so this says like up to admission, so you need to just send me your transcripts from your IB program. And post-baccalaureate diploma, remember, this is just after you finish a bachelor's. This is just for professionals. So because sometimes they just are confused about post-baccalaureate because it has the word diploma as well. So it's post-baccalaureate diploma, but remember this is just for professionals. You need to have a bachelor of 4 years to get into a post-baccalaureate diploma program.
Okay, thank you for this. Mariana is asking, Carleton University, you mentioned about engineering programs. Do these include specializations such as mining, geology, or is it just general engineering programs?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we have 13 areas of study within our engineering degree. All 13 can be found on the website. Just to name a few off the top of my head, we have aerospace. We're one of the few universities in Ontario to offer that. Mechanical, biomedical, civil, communications. Unfortunately, the two you mentioned, geology and mining, are not areas of study that we do offer. There are a handful of Canadian universities that may offer areas of study within that range. I think the University of Alberta might be one of them. But yeah, we have 13 different areas of study. Those two unfortunately aren't a part of them, but you can see all 13 on the website.
Okay, thank you for this. Lenny, we have time for one or two last questions since we're wrapping up on time. Lenny was asking for Bishop if you offer creative writing course as a minor even. And of course, the other universities, you're also open to let us know if there is creative writing and arts. Let's start with Eric.
Yeah, so that's actually a wonderful question. We do offer a minor in creative writing and journalism. So yeah, we do offer a minor in that. Our English department is actually really well known, I believe. I have a lot of friends who studied English, and our professors are well versed in really encourage that creative process. We had courses in this past year that have been newly developed in the creative writing program, actually, in terms of like fiction writing and investigation, mystery, discovery. So yeah, we've really expanded our English program, actually, especially in this past year. So creative writing is a go.
Let me let me allow for one last question, which I think is also very important. It's coming in about the cost of application fees. If we could go around, what generally what are the documents required, and is there application fees before being accepted? Amy?
Yeah, it would depend on the way that you're applying. So when you apply directly to a university, we all have our own fees here at Guelph. You pay your $90 Canadian fee and you can apply to 3 separate programs. So ours is done by number of programs that you apply to. So we give you 3 with the initial one. You can pay more to have more. The other option is to do it through the Ontario University Application Centre, which has its own fee, and you can apply to multiple programs, but you can do it at multiple universities. So if you're looking at more than one Ontario university, in my opinion, I think it's a lot quicker, swifter, and a little cheaper to go through the OUAC, because then you can, if you're only interested in one program from us and one program from Carleton, for example, then you can apply to the OUAC and apply to us both at the same time under one application fee. There's a way there on the OUAC for you to upload your documents and everything that's needed, and it's sent to both of us at the same time. So I would just check on the website of where you're planning to apply and see if there's kind of 2 universities you're looking at, if there's a way you can apply to both. Not all Canadian universities are on the Common App, but many are as well. Same idea if you're applying to a university down in the States or another Common App university, it can be cheaper to go through there to kind of add multiple universities in one application.
Thank you for this very useful information about the app. Kelvin, would you like to add something?
Amy summarized OUAC beautifully, and just like she mentioned, Carleton also has a direct application as well, entirely up to the students. One thing that's important to understand from the students' perspective is that we don't care which route they take. We still receive applications the same way, whether it's direct or through OUAC. We have no preference. It exists entirely to make the students' lives easier. So there's no application we prefer over another. Yeah, so that's just kind of a brief overview of the applications for those of us within Ontario.
Wonderful. Eric, would you like to add something about this?
Not too much to add. I guess I would just add that Bishops is also on the Common App as well. So if you are going through that route, we are on the Common App. And yeah, I guess I would just add that it's 65 Canadian dollars to apply to Bishops, and you can do so directly through our website as well, which the steps are very clearly laid out on there, and it just walks you through. I believe it's pretty simple in my mind, but as the others mentioned, like, it depends on what schools you're looking at and what route you want to go. But no matter what, as Kelvin said, we process all the applications the same. There's no one way that's preferred over the other.
Which is great. It makes it very, very unified, very, very easy to access. Yeah, so there was a question about criminology. Andrea, thank you for answering in the chat. To all of you participants, please follow in the chat. There is the email addresses of all our presenters today. You can definitely reach out to them with any additional questions you might have had. Hopefully it's been an informative and interesting session, which has exacerbated your interest in studying in Canada. Thank you so much once again to our 4 presenters. We'd like to wish you a great school year ahead, and hopefully some of today's participants will be able to attend your universities in the future. So thank you very much from the SRT team, and looking forward to seeing you again. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.